strategy or lack
the
thereof.
conspiracy has to be that they have like an artificial like view target that they need to hit, and they know like, okay, when we bring over a talent, like 40% of their audience converts, and if we bring over 6 people, we hit our views, like we hit our views number. Like I am like convinced that there's like a middle manager there or something whose bonus is like dependent on that, and they're like, spend whatever it takes to get me my 40 million views. I need this money. Like there's I don't actually know if that's the ultimate tinfoil conspiracy theory. But yeah, it's crazy. It's like what do you do with these people? It's not like Pokemon. They're just like collecting them. Like please. And like there's such low hanging things that they can do, right? Like I've never paid for a YouTube subscription, the $10 or whatever it is, but like if you pay for the YouTube TV or whatever, like you should get a free sub to like use
Yeah,
on like on a
YouTube
streamer
Premium or whatever.
or
Yeah,
whatever. Like
yeah,
it's the same thing
yeah,
Amazon does. Like
yeah.
come on, like and it's built in. It's owned by it's on your platform already. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, great for Myth. I think we like it because they also get better hours, right? Like it's more money for less work, right? Like it's truly the dream for these creators who move over there. But yeah, and obviously as like a league that's on YouTube, like we we want them all there. Like please send us more. Like
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a very from a business perspective, it's just so confusing.
Matt says, this is what I was talking about with Shroud. YouTube gaming never gets its signings right. Sentinels makes one signing and everyone likes it. I mean, it's not. I don't think the issue's with Myth here. The issue's with just YouTube paying streamers obscene amounts of money to switch. Hardware Barbecue says, defecting's an interesting word to use as if one is contractually obligated to be in a place they started their streaming career from. I mean, Hardware Barbecue, I mean, they are contractually obligated as long as they're under contract, but you're right. I mean, I maybe exaggerate with the word defecting because it has, this, I imagine, prisoner exchange on a bridge or something with YouTube on one side and Twitch on the other. I don't know. But you're right. The word is maybe not the most accurate. Michael says, so long as it's not Mixer. Michael, thankfully, those days are long gone. Hardware Barbecue says, I'm not saying Mixer deja vu, but Mixer deja vu. Do you guys agree with that? Because I think I agree with that. It's feeling a little Mixer-ish in its approach. Which again, you would think they've looked at that and said, that didn't work. Why do we think we can make it work? Hardware Barbecue says, of course, the outcome won't be the same. YouTube's safety cushion's far thicker. It would be a colossal waste if YouTube doesn't make the live stream platform successful. The problem is, Hardware Barbecue, they're probably like 2 years behind in terms of features compared to Twitch, with no plan, it seems, to catch up. Like they only recently released like the equivalent of gifted subs and things like that. I mean, they're literally about a couple years behind from a feature standpoint.
I think the big difference between Mixer and the YouTube situation, Mixer was its own standalone project inside Microsoft, right? And so whatever the loss was, that like $200 million, $300 million, like I have no idea what they spend, all hit a Mixer line item, right? And it was like super easy to see like this is exactly how much money we just wasted. For YouTube, like how much you're wasting on signing streamers and like the YouTube Live program gets buried, right? Like
Yeah.
that is like the bottom again. That manager, he knows what he's doing, right? So he puts that little line item all the way at the bottom below. Add content, add stacks, however many devs he needs to keep the YouTube business running. Which the YouTube business is quite healthy, right? It's profitable, brings in Google however many billions of dollars, right? So like, I think it'll be a lot. They just have such a runway, right? Like in terms of like, when are you going to feel that heat that like we would all feel if we're running that business? In terms of like, you need to make live work. Like, I don't know. I don't know if anybody feels any pressure to make live work for the next like 5 years or whatever, right?
And Grant, just to reinforce your point, only up until very recently, Google didn't even split out YouTube separately in their earnings reports. It was literally buried within, like, it wasn't even a separate line item. So people only speculated how big big YouTube was.
Yeah.
Hardware Barbecue says, speaking of it, fun fact, there was a Mixer booth in one of the older Twitch cons. One made grapefruit juices, another tried to make good beads. It's a good fun fact. Hardcore barbecue. Hamslot says, "I'm with Grant. Why pour so much money to secure streamers and then bury them? I have followed a sum total of 0 streamers from Twitch to YouTube." I mean, I think that's the conclusion, right? And they should have learned from Mixer that the audiences don't move. They do not. They don't. They definitely don't move 100%. And so you would think they would, but they don't. Chris says YouTube becoming Nick at Night, online talking, all these old talents. I mean, I don't know if Chris Smith is that old, but you're right. They're more established talent, and they may end up being that Nick at Night type thing. Hardcore Barbecue says, but to be fair, YouTube's far more recognizable brand than Twitch globally. You'll find Twitch streamers globally, but when you go around and say you're on YouTube, most people will know what you're talking about. So marketing yourself as a stream on YouTube would be easier than Twitch if YouTube did the needful. I mean, I think that if there is the big problem, right? If YouTube had the same feature set as Twitch and as good discovery as TikTok, we would be talking about the king of all platforms.
Think of how easy it would be. You already have the largest creator database on your platform with millions and billions of viewers and audiences that are accustomed to being on that platform. All you have to do is build a live product that is like, it doesn't even need to be 100% as good as Twitch. It could be 80% as good as Twitch. It just can't be 20% as good. And some discoverability. That's all you need. It's insane.
Grant, this is why I've been so hard on YouTube, because I've always said they have all the resources of Google, they have all the tech knowledge of Google, and yet
crazy.
Only massive mismanagement can be the cause of being this far behind, right? Like they have everything at their disposal, and that's why it's so frustrating. Lindsay, sorry, you were going to say something.
No, with all that being said, it's amazing to me that Facebook gaming is becoming a more popular platform in other parts of the world. I was just talking to someone in Southeast Asia who was saying that Facebook gaming is the preferred platform of choice in a lot of the countries there. And it's like, Grant's right. You do have the biggest creator platform in the world. Like, just do something with it. You're so close. You did the hard part.
I mean, even Facebook makes good decisions, right? Like, they're not taking any cut of subscriber revenue for the next year or something, right? Like, I think I read. It's like, if you want to get people to move and like your platform. Oh, are we losing people?
No.
Oh.
I don't know. Sometimes his internet goes out. It's fine.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh no, what happened? But yeah, do things that reward viewers and give streamers an incentive to be on your platform, right? Like, give them more revenue. Like, don't just pay them to come over and think it magically fixes everything. Anyways, we've talked about YouTube for a while, so